For those who don't know me, I'm Laura Waters. I'm COLEAD training manager. I'm based in our office in Brussels. And it's my pleasure to present to you today COLEAD's training offer. The title is a bit misleading, to be honest. I should adjust it because I'm not going to present all COLEAD training offer, but just the training programs, training session we are going to organize digitally for MSMEs specifically during this second semester of year 25. That's going to be specifically oriented for this target audience, I'd say. So if you are BMO, service provider, training institution, note that the session dedicated to your type of organization won't be presented today, but feel free to come back at me privately if you want to know about that offer specifically. Why were we organizing this session is because within COLEAD there's lots of offer. We are organizing quite a lot of activities, and it's not always easy to clearly identify what's best for your organization. And even more specifically, when it comes to digital training session, there can be 2 up to 3 organized per month for MSMEs. So it may be a bit difficult to choose the ones that are the most relevant for your project. So the idea was today to present to you this offer, what's the logic behind it, and why they are organized in that way where they can lead you in your project. I see Mr. Kuta presenting himself in the chat. Thank you very much. So feel free to follow the lead here and present also yourself in the chat. Today, so the session will focus first on the offer for this second semester. Then I will spend a bit time to remind you about some of our principles when it comes to register to our training session. And after that, I'll have a specific focus on our gender strategy. As you know, COLEAD has a global gender strategy since last year. And I would like here to present to you how this strategy is applying, specifically in the training session, the digital training session. And what does that mean in terms of participant trainees to our training session. So we are getting more and more people on board. See, there's some people from the Gambia, from Malawi. That's great. Let me know also if you followed any digital training sessions, so I know also how far I need to go into my explanation today. So let me start with our offer for this second semester. Okay. So first, this is what we are going to organize by the end of this year, from August basically to November. We try to avoid organizing session in December because it's a time of the year where people have lots of work sometimes, or they are on holidays. So when we can, we avoid that time of the year. As you see here, our offer is focusing on 3 main topics: management of organization and business development, food safety, and environmental management. And for most of this offer, we'll be offering post-training support after the training session. So that means that for all this session, except good hygiene practices, you'll be offered, if you register, to do a specific homework related to your organization. that will enable you really to transfer what you learned during the training session to your specific context. And based on that homework that you can submit until 2 weeks after the training session, you could benefit from a specific coaching and additional support from a local expert based on in your country that can come within your organization to support you on a specific topic. If we take, for example, the energy management training, you'll be offered to do some kind of diagnosis during the training session and try already to identify areas where you could improve the way you are managing energy. And if you're submitting your homework, then you can get more thorough diagnosis or an expert working with you specifically on some specific activities you have identified as priority for you. So that's for the PTS. Now, when it comes to why this session and what are the logic behind them, I'm going to present here, maybe before a short disclaimer, it's the logic for the organization. And that's quite important to understand because that's the point of view, I'd say, from your organization development. So it's not the point of view of me as a learner wanting to develop my skills. That's not the same logic sometimes. So that's quite important to know. We're going to focus on organization, and you'll see a bit later why it's so important to understand that very quickly. So when it comes to the environmental management thematic, we offered end of the year 24 a training session on sustainable production system, during which the organization were invited to do some kind of global diagnosis in relation with the self-assessment exercise from COLEAD. And based on that training, the organization were able to identify on which topic they should focus in priority. Because there's lots of topic when it comes to environmental management. We could look at it from the soil point of view, water, waste, energy, biodiversity, carbon footprint. So the idea with this first training was to enable organization to identify their priorities. And based on that training, then we are organizing all the thematics, all this subsection of the environmental management. And based on what was identified during this first training, you can normally more easily identify which training you should follow first. So this second semester, we are organizing the energy management, the water management, and the soil fertility management training. From an organization point of view, that means that you can work on all these three topics. When I'm telling you, it's not from the participant point of view. What I mean here specifically is that it might not be always the same person who should attend all this training. If you want to work all this topic, maybe for soil fertility, it's going to be rather your production manager. When it comes to the water management, it's going to be the irrigation manager. And when it's come to energy, maybe it's going to be the packing manager, the pack house, the person in charge of the management of the pack house. Can be the same person depending on your organization, or could be a 3-person difference. So that's for the logic behind the environmental management part. Note that we are also working on a biodiversity management training, but I will come back on this one a bit later. Then when it comes to management of organization and business development, so what we are organizing this semester are effective accounting and financial management, create your business plan, and fundamentals of human resources. The logic here is, again, end of 24, we organize a session on the organization development strategy, which is an introduction to this big thematic, which is the business development, enabling you to develop the strategy and elaborate rather the business model of your organization. And then there's a logic here to support you to go through the access to finance topic. And one of the one of the feedback we received from financial institution is that most of the time when companies come at them asking for financial support for their project, the first thing they lack is the accounting and the financial management. So that's why we prioritize that training first. Then the logic is to follow afterwards with the business plan. And we have also a focus area on human resources that is not coming from the path, but rather if you need to work on that, there's also an option on that topic. There's a careful sign here in front of the business plan training, because you need to know that to be able to attend the business plan tutor training, you need first to follow the self-paced courses. The self-paced courses is available for you anytime, anywhere, whenever you want to follow it. So you have the link here to enroll yourself. So any participant from your organization you'd like to register for the business plan training need first to go through this self-paced courses. That's a way for us to ensure that you have the basic knowledge needed to follow that training. And if you believe you already have the skills to follow the training, you can go straight to the self-paced courses and pass just the final quiz to get your certificate of achievement. There's no need to go through all the theory if you think you already have the skills about that topic, even though it doesn't cost much to go through, like a bit a refreshing course. And the last thematic is on food safety, where we'll go through good hygiene practice, food fraud defense, and HACCP method. Here there is maybe two logic, I'd say. Good hygiene practices is rather for companies and SMEs who needs to start with the prerequisite related to food safety, and this is rather for organizations that don't have yet a well-defined food quality management system. So we'll start in August with the prerequisite, and we'll go beginning of 26 with the food quality management system part. And if your organization is already well established when it comes to the food quality management system, you may already have some certification like Global Gap to prove that, and you want to go further, then there is the food fraud defense that is there for you to go further into that thematic. And finally, there's the HACCP method, which is rather for organization going with the processing products, but it can still be very interesting even if you're selling fresh fruits and veg. I would like to emphasize a bit on that thematic by sharing with you a focus on one of our training path, which is the training path to go to the Global Gap certification, which is a quite common certification when you're looking to reach a European market. So we developed this specific pathway here, and I'm going to go share it with you directly where it is. I'm going to show it to you over there. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can show you the path itself over there. That's the screen over there. Okay. So now you can see the Global Gap training pathway, we call it. And this is the pathway, again, I'm insisting on that, is the pathway for the organization if you want to reach the certification, how COLEAD offer can help you to reach that goal. So we defined different steps, starting from market access. So if you're not yet exporting, you are on the national market, you'd like to expand to regional or international market. We'll start here with looking at all the requirement and is it worth it for you to extend to other market. If at the end of this step you say, yes, it's worth it for me to extend and I'd like to know more about the Global Gap requirements, then we have a training on Global Gap modalities and checklists to guide you through the standard, the private standard. So you can clearly understand why after that you need to follow trainings on crop protection requirements, on good hygiene practices requirement, and on sustainability requirements. That's how it's thought. So beginning of this year, we did the market access training, we did the Global Gap modalities and checklist, and now we are moving to the good hygiene practices, the basic requirements. And slowly, like this, we will lead you to the certification. Note that the certification is absolutely mandatory to be able to export. This is something quite often requested from your clients, but know that you can still follow just this path just to export without having to get the certification at the end. This is really just, we recommend you to go through the certification only if this is required by your client, because it's quite costly. And you can comply with all the requirements without having to pay for the certification. The certification is only the proof that you are complying with the requirements. Once you've done all of that, there's some sessions specifically dedicated for Global Gap Option 2, those of you working with outgrowers, and these are rather organized face-to-face. And then we are also offering session to maintain your certification when there's a new version of the standard coming out, like we did 2-3 years ago with the Global Gap version 6 certification. Now, let me look a bit closer. For each of these steps, there are different training that are presented to you on this pathway. I will share it with you so you can look at it in detail after this presentation. And if we look at the first sequence on market access, we have the tutor-led course that was organized, as I mentioned earlier this year, but you also find some of our self-paced courses, like here, the private and regulation standard self-paced courses. So that means that if you missed our market access session, you can still train yourself with our self-paced courses and evolve on that pathway towards Global Gap certification, even though you may have missed one of our courses. So this is an overview very, very fast of what is available when it comes to Global Gap certification. I would like also to show to you the the calendar. I presented you the big thematics and the logic behind it, but this calendar that I shared with you is available from our training platform. No need to be connected. Just click here on tutored trainings and you'll have the calendar that I presented to you available here. You can have a look at it from two different points of view, either from the calendar point of view or the thematic one. I just shared with you the thematic view. So let's have a look at the calendar one. This is the semester 2 calendar. And if you look in August, for example, we have the sustainable energy management session and the good hygiene practice training session that are here. And in the calendar, you have more detail than just those that I presented to you. You'll know the exact dates of the session. You can see the target audience behind, the objective and what you'll be able to do at the end of the courses. And you'll get also information in terms of duration and if a post-training support is available. Then you get also the access to the registration form where you can register the participant to that training session. As you see here for August, there's a need to register quite fast after this session, as I think both of the trainings, the registration is open until the 21st of July. Let me check that very quickly with you. Indeed, so you have until the 21st of July to register. So I invite you to register quite fast after this session if you think this is relevant for you. I'll just have, I think, one more slide to share with you, and then I'll let a bit the time for you to ask questions before going to the principles on our offer. Let me share my screen again. What I would like to share with you further is that what I presented you in this calendar is our offer that are part of our permanent offer, but we are also continuously developing new training sessions. So, and those new trainings that are currently being developed, they are not part of this calendar because we are not sure when we are going to finalize the development, so we prefer to wait until we know. Ça va pas aller. Oh, yes, until we are sure they're ready. So here, this is a provisional view. So the months here are not yet exact, and you'll be invited once we're sure the content is available for you on the right time. So what is coming? Basically, we have two main trainings coming ahead. One is about the biodiversity, because yeah, I'm guessing that's a topic where you are increasingly being asked to improve, whether it's to produce sustainably, whether it's to demonstrate your effort in favor of the biodiversity to your customers for certification purpose. And you may have been confronted through these certification requirements, for example, confronted to requests to prove how you meet these requirements, and maybe you don't know how you can really how you can really demonstrate the effort you've done for this. And so the aim of this training is really to equip you with simple tool to enable you to assess the biodiversity level of your organization, and so you can demonstrate how you are improving, but also design a plan to strengthen your resilience and prove to your customers all the effort you've made. That's for the training on biodiversity. You should expect invitation end of this year for a session in January, but be aware that if you don't receive invitation, it's just because we may take a bit more time to develop it. And then we have a second training currently under development about understanding and acting on gender issue within your organization. Here it's not maybe the exact title of the training, we're still thinking about it, but this is also for you to question yourself, do women have the same opportunity as men within your organization? Maybe you have already noticed some differences, but you don't know how to correct that, or you may have received again here requests from customer from financial partners, from donors to prove your commitment to equality. And so this is what the training is going to try to equip you with, again, their solution to be able to answer these questions. Okay, that's for our offer of the semester. So before I go on the principles, I saw there were already a question on the question and answer part. So I'm going to look at it. And if you have other questions, please raise your hand. I'll try to to answer it my best. So I have a question from Emirage about is waste management practice included in sustainable environment management system? So yes, the waste management is part of all our offer on the environmental management. So this semester you've seen what is coming is energy, water, and soil. But indeed, we covered the waste aspect beginning of this year in January, if I recall correctly. So that was already done. But there again, if you feel like you need to work on that, we still have the self-paced courses also that can enable you to progress on that thematic. So when you look on our offer on the self-paced courses, check the environmental management thematic, and you'll find 3 courses related to the impact of agriculture on the environment and how to restore the environment, and that covers the waste management aspect too. So that's for the question I had on the Q&A button. I'm looking very quickly in the chat. So I see some of you said that they already participated to some of our training session, the financial planning one, which is a really recent session indeed. And yeah, so good to know there's some of you who knows what are our training sessions. Allow me to move to the principles if there's no questions from you. Oh, there's one more coming. So just to answer regarding the prerequisite for the business planning course. So you're going to get the presentation at the end and the recording. So if you miss the beginning of the session, don't worry. And yes, for the business plan course, we highly recommend to do the self-paced courses before. The link will be shared with you also in the presentation. What I can already do here is share with you the link to our calendar right now. So this is the link to our training calendar if you want to look at it into detail. And let me check for the self-paced courses on business plan that is highly recommended before the business plan session. And as I mentioned, one of the things at the beginning, as I mentioned, one of the things that the financial institution find the most important to work is the effective accounting and financial management aspect. This is also quite important if you can attend that session first before going to financial planning. Regarding the question, so there's also a question about the deadlines to register to the courses. So the 21st of July is the deadline for the courses organized in August only. There are further deadlines for the other courses. More or less, each time is the 20th of the month before. So for September, the deadline would be around the 20th of August. For the session in October, the deadline will be around the 20th of September. So yeah, the deadlines are different for each training month. Okay, you can keep asking the questions in the Q&A part while I'm going further because time is flying and we have about 25 minutes max together, and I would like to give you again the floor at the end for the other questions. So I wanted to take the opportunity that I have you with me here today to come back on some of our principle when it comes to registration participation to our digital training session, because the quality of our training courses depends a lot on the involvement of the learners. It's quite important for us that our trainings have impact and you can see the concrete application within your organization. But for the trainings to be able to lead to that, we need to make sure that each participant is able to fully commit to the training. So that means coming from the first day to the last day, respect the timetable and take active part of the live session. When we are organizing live session, it's not like today where I'm the one talking and talking and talking, but our live session during our trainings, they are very interactive. So we need the participant to be available to contribute to this session. This is the key for you and for your organization to take the most out of the course. So what is expected? Most of our trainings are organized within 4 weeks. During these 4 weeks, we estimate that it's requiring about 1 working day per week to follow properly the session. There's about 3 to 4 hours of live session, but it's not just live session. There is homework also. There is some practical exercise, some theory to be done also after this live session, and the person you are registering needs to have the time to do that so you can have tangible result within your organization. Note also that the attendance is always rewarded with a certification of attendance. And also if you register someone that doesn't attend the courses, at some point we may say that you cannot, we might reject the registration for future courses, because you are taking the spot of someone who could be active during the session. So it's quite important for you that you pay attention to who you are registering, to not register the same person to 2 trainings that are happening in the same time, so the person can really focus on 1 training session and be fully committed to it. That's the first thing I wanted to remind you. The second thing is that when we speak about digital training session, there's some equipment that are needed to benefit from the best possible working condition during these courses. So one is a stable internet connection. And I know it doesn't only depend from you, but that's quite important, even though at our level we are paying attention to use low bandwidth solution as much as possible. We recommend you to be in a quiet room when attending the live session. And we also recommend to use rather a computer with functional audio and video equipment rather than the smartphone, just for comfort. But if you need to use the smartphone because we don't have any other solution, then I'd like to recommend you use the Moodle application. We realize that lots of people, they're coming with the smartphone, but they're going through the internet browser. So I just wanted here to very quickly present to you the application solution, which is more comfortable to be used on the smartphone. You have some downloading solution for the content, the homeworks, and so on that can help you to go through the content while you are offline if there is any connection problems. And it's also more comfortable for even if you're reading it online, the adaptive solution, the mobile responsive solution, that's the proper word. The mobile responsive solution works better if you're using the application than if you're going through your browser. So that was for the principle, I think. Yeah, that's everything when it comes to the principles. I see my colleagues, Simoto, David, you are with me as panelists. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if there's any principle I forgot you think I should have had here.
Thank you very much, Laura. I think everything is okay. I think you didn't miss anything. But I'm also keeping an eye. If there's anything, I will jump in and I'll let you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, there's a question again also on the Q&A part. So yeah, I think I've just answered it, but let me repeat it just in case you missed it. Can more than one participant from one organization apply to the same course? No, I haven't answered that one indeed. So you can have up to 2 participants that register per organization. You can always register more, but we try to keep it a fair balance between organization. So usually we will stick to 1 up to 2 participants per organization for the same course. For different reasons, we need to let room for all the organizations to be able to participate. And then we really want the participant to have the right profile for the training. So depending on the training, there might not be more than 1 participant among your organization that has the right profile for the session. So that's quite important to select the best person there. And I know also sometimes as CEO, director, there's a strong will to grow your skills and to take the most out of all this training session. But sometimes there's a need to delegate also because you have a lot on your plate, lots of day-to-day tasks to handle, lots of responsibilities. So if you feel like you cannot attend the training completely and be active on it, I would recommend you to delegate the participation to someone from your team who can really attend, actively participate and present to you the trainings and the results and and the solution that I can bring to the organization and to that training. I move to the gender part. And I'm not going to present here all the COLEAD gender strategy, but really just focus on the participant aspect. So this is coming, so as you know, at COLEAD, we have a strong conviction, I'd say, that equity is a lever for transformation. So that's why we put in place this inclusive strategy. And here I'm going to focus rather so on the selection of participants, where we wanted to encourage greater representation of women in our training session. Because what we have noticed is that women tend to delegate maybe further, faster the participation to a training to their other colleagues, or they may feel like they don't have the skills needed to attend this training. And we need to help them and push them a bit further so they can trust themselves more in their work life. So in concrete terms, what we decided is that when we receive application registration of an equivalent level from men and women from the same organization, we will try to give the priority to the women if there's only one place available during the training. I need here to say to you, we'll be very careful. This is not going to be an automatic solution that is applied. That will take into account the individual records in terms of attendance, training courses that follow. So we are going to look at the position of the person, what they've already done in terms of training. Is it logic for us to prioritize the women participation over the men participation? We have also a global look at the organization. We don't want to involuntary exclude men from your organization to the participation to our training session. That's not at all what we want. It's not a question. We don't want just to train women within one organization. We really want to keep equity, so that's quite important for us. We'll pay attention to that gender when we are. That's going to be one of the criteria when we are selecting only one participant for a training session. If we can accept 2 participants to a training session, in that case, we will accept 2 participants per organization only if at least one of them is a woman. So it could be that you registered 2 women, then we can accept both of them. Could be you registered 1 man and 1 woman, and we can accept both of them. But if you register only men, we will accept only one of them to the training. So that was an important information to share to you, because that's a big change for us in our way to work, and that's something that we have been asked. So the gender balance is becoming a mandatory criterion for us. And that was all that I had to discuss with you today. So you've seen our offer for digital training session. You've seen also the new trainings that are currently under development. I'll remind you just that this is the offer for MSME specifically. So if you're service provider, training institution, BMOs, we may have some specific session for you coming later on. And also this doesn't cover the face-to-face offer. There might still be also a face-to-face training organized in your country in the coming month. But for that, you'll have to check with your country manager. As you see, it's the time for the question and answer part. So you can raise your hand if you want to take the floor and ask further questions, or you can keep asking them on the Q&A part of the presentation. If you already submitted all your questions, that's great. I remember there was also someone from the competent authorities from the Gambia, if I recall correctly, in the chat. So for you too, there's going to be a specific session for competent authorities, and you'll be informed on due time for that. But if I recall correctly, you should have received some invitation for a session that starts in August. And there I speak under the control of my colleague David, and my colleague Noor is also in the room. Do you confirm, David, was the invitation for the competent authority session from August already sent?
Yes, sent to the French-speaking countries. And I think the one for the English country will be going out, I think, this week.
Okay, so you should receive it in the coming days. Great.
Yeah,
Thank
not
you
yet
for
for
the
English.
clarification. Yeah, not yet for English.
Okay.
Thank you, Noor, for clarifying this too. So you should expect news from us very soon for the competent authority. Okay, I don't see any question coming. Check. I'll leave you 1 or 2 minutes further to. There's one coming in. Thank you. I'm just a bit lost in between my windows here. Okay. So, could you come again on how to register? Yes, I can come again on how to register, and I'm going to demonstrate. That might be easier. So, to register, you are receiving normally from us an email every month, every beginning of the month, reminding you the session that will start the next month. Okay, so that's one way you get the information. I'm not on the right pages. Okay, I need to switch to English here. So you receive this email, and in the email you have a slide presentation of the training, and you have the access to the registration form. That's one way. The other way is that when you are on the training platform from COLEAD, you can go on tutor training, and there you'll see a calendar presenting you all our training session for this semester. Clicking here on start, you can either look by the calendar or through the thematic. Let's go through the calendar offer again. And then, for example, you're wondering in September, you see you'll have more time. Maybe there's a session that can interest you. So here you look at what's happening in September. Okay, water management, that's relevant for me. It was part of the topic I had to prioritize based on my self-assessment exercise, for example. So I can click on the training here on the right side to have more detail about the session. I'll see all the details. Below, I see I have until the 18th of August to register. And I have a button here I can click on, and I have access to the registration form. On that registration form, we'll be asking you a series of information to know who you are, why you are registering to this training, who you are registering to the training. some key details about the participant you are suggesting. And then you are also at the bottom asked, would you like to register a second participant, yes or no? And depending on your answer, you'll get the possibility to register a second person. At our level, we will check the profile of the participant you register based on the different criteria. What are the right target audience for the training, the gender criteria I presented to you. How many people have already registered, so can we accept 1 or 2 participants to the session? We'll look at all of that and we'll come back at you with a confirmation saying, okay, this participant can join the courses. Maybe that participant unfortunately has not been selected for the training for that and that reason. So we'll come back at you on that. And then the training starts. So that's basically how to register. You may also receive sometimes some specific email. So for example, maybe, let me try to think that there was someone from Malawi. Mr. Kota who's asking the question is from Malawi. Maybe you're going to receive an email from Camille or from Soline. You've met with them. They will tell you like, Mr. Kunta, I see that nobody from your organization has registered to that training, and that's very relevant. Based on the project development we have together, we highly recommend you register someone. So they could be that way to receive also invitation. That's the final way. And you'll get this specific relaunch targeting your organization. I'd say only if there's still room within the training session. So the first thing is for you to be proactive and register proactively and not wait for Camille or Soline to come at you specifically. I see there's some question coming also in the chat. So if people from the same organization are applying for different courses, will you still use the same criteria if there are 2 men applying? Or no, so it's really training session per training session. So if you have 1 man registering to the water management training and another one registering to the good hygiene practice training, these are 2 different training. The gender criteria only apply for the same training session. You can register only men's in the different training session. We will always select at least one of your participants if the person has the right profile and attend the training is registering to. So I hope this answers your question, Mr. Banda. Kelvin mentioned a comment on the post-training support approach as well. I'm not sure if maybe I can give you the floor, Kelvin, so you can clarify your question. Let me allow you to speak so I can understand what you mean.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So my comment was simple. I was just mentioning that you could comment to them on the post-training support approach, whereby someone has to follow the training fully, and after they have been able to attain, then they can request for post-training support at in-company levels. Yeah,
yes.
That's simple comment, yes.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin. Yes, so yeah, that's something that was clearly presented earlier, but yes, so all our training this semester, except good hygiene practices, leads to post-training support. So for having post-training support, you need, so post-training support is, just for those who may join us a bit later, is a specific coaching with a local expert whenever possible that will come to your organization to support you to implement practically what you've learned during the training. And to get that kind of support, you need to attend all the training session, be there actively, participate, and submit a final homework at the end of the training. Within the 2 weeks of the end of the training, submit that work so you can pretend to a post-training support. I hope that's answering your comment, Kelvin.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. I see we are almost at the end of our session, so it's time for me to thank you for your presence today, for taking the time to join us to understand better how our offer can benefit, how your organization can benefit the most from the digital training offer. I would like also to take the time here to thank the team that is behind the organization of all this training session. There's a lot of work and lots of effort puts behind it, so you have a very practical session designed for your specific public, for MSMEs, for professional people in the active life in horticultural sector. So we really hope you'll enjoy our offer. Feel free to come back at us. I'll send in the chat in 2 minutes the email address, training@colead.link. If you have any question, you can also ask a specific question to your country manager. So the person can also guide you better through the offer. And please feel free also to let us know if there's any training you didn't see here that you would like us to organize later on. It's never too early for us to start planning 26, and would be great if we can fit what you are looking for in terms of training, even though we have lots of feedbacks from the ground and from the TA team there to feed us with what you are asking. But your feedbacks, your direct feedbacks are also more than welcome. I wish you a very pleasant day, very pleasant end of the week.